Welcome to Love Them Knives channel. Steel wheel in the house. Steel wheel Kobold. And it's a little knife. 1.75 inch blade. 5 inches overall length. And I'll show you real quick here. I don't have any real micros out here to compare with on the table. Let's see if we can keep to get the tip on there. Okay. 1.75 inch blade. If you measure down here, closer to 2. Overall 5 at the very end of that lanyard head kicker, which is between 12 and 13 millimeters. Right there. Now, blade stock, what do we got? Get some of these out of the way. 3 millimeter and 3 millimeter bend. We got a big cutaway here on that blade. Come on. 0.117 inches. Overall fatness, half inch. Half inch, which should, 13 millimeters. There you go. And let's throw it on the scale real quick. It's a liner lock, G10 liner lock flipper. And it's real snappy, and yes, the detent's pretty tough, so I can't gravity flip it. Of course, you got a short blade, light blade. 76, almost 77 grams. Roll it around. 2.71 ounces. I think their stat says 2.68. So we're within 3/10. That is snappy. I like the design. I think it's a stubby little carry. The pocket clip is pretty big. I don't know. I mean, just because you have a shorter knife doesn't mean you can have a real small pocket clip, necessarily. But that pretty much takes over this whole side of the knife. It's got 2 screws holding it in. We'll take this one apart just to have a little look-see inside. And we've got this red anodized aluminum back spacer. Okay, and we'll check it out inside. Looks like they've skeletonized or put some weight relieving into the liners. Pretty standard hardware here. Button head screws. Nothing fancy there. Hopefully that's a D-shaped pivot, because there's no access on this side. If you got it locked up, that'd be tough to stabilize this side. At least for me it is. I don't like going through that exercise. But got a blade. Let's see if the blade will cut something. Okay. Okay, seems relatively sharp out of the box. I mean, kind of your standard factory edge situation going on here. I'd say when I got this knife and I got it in hand, I think you guys probably just want that impression of, like, when you get it and you get it in hand. These things sell for like $50. I mean, their SRP is $59.99, but you go on one of the online sellers, I think minimum advertises $50. So $50. So, okay, there's a lot of, G10 knives out there for right at that $50, $52 range, and I tend to have a lot of these kind of crazies around here, like the Paladin and stuff. And ones like this are $35, CH, $35.19, which is really cool. And then, of course, I got my Ever Dangerous, and these are bigger knives, so these are big. So this is not really in that category, is it? Maybe something that would be kind of in that category is my little mini Doman, but it's giant compared to this little one. So I've seen some other micros, and right off the top of my head, and I wish I could think quickly enough, but yeah, there's some other small little micro G10 knives out there. Here's your lockup, 25%. Maybe arguably 30, but no more than that. Pass through here is evident. So being able to disengage is not a problem. There's no drop to this. It's just bang. It's stiff and hold on. You can snap it open, but it's not real easy to, probably because of the size of the blade and the kind of the stiffness overall of the pivot. I mean, you know, if I just do without any, now maybe over time, it does have bearings, by the way. We'll find that out when we pull this apart, but you can walk this out. I can't really thumb flick this, but with a little inertia, you can kick it open with your middle finger. So, like I was saying, I like the design. Thumb ramp that's jimped here. Notice that. Big, nice cutout. If you like that, maybe you don't. A little break in here for sharpening. Maybe could even go forward like this, and that way you could fit like 3 fingers on here. Otherwise, you're back in this choil. This third one's having a real problem here. If you had really big hands, it's just a 2-finger knife. See what I'm saying? But you might be able to try and squeeze another half finger on there. And that's it. But it's just a little carry knife. Really, I could see just taking the pocket clip off, throwing it in your pocket. First of all, it's not titanium. You know, so it's not going to scratch up coming into contact with your change or keys or things like that. You know, and second of all, it's just a user shooter knife anyhow, so it's not, you know, Safe Queen or some highly collectible piece, which is fine. You know, actually, I don't know. I was thinking how you could even put a little, you know, Kydex sheath or something and click it in. That'd be neat if you could just hang it from your neck. I guess my biggest bitch on this knife, and really probably my own big, huge complaint, is the fact that this wasn't stonewashed to begin with. So some knives, what they do is they stonewash this whole blade, right? And then they put the satin grind on. So you can see up on the flats, they're stonewash. Well, the good thing about that, especially when you have cutouts and stuff in the blade, is that knocks all those edges down. And this does not. And this is sharp, okay? These are all inside, these edges are sharp. The top here is edgy as well. Okay, not so much coming down here, and not really that you're going to notice that much, but yeah, that's kind of edgy too. You'd have to take maybe some sandpaper or something and hit all these edges in here, because it is really, really sharp. So that's kind of unfortunate, and you're going to get that everywhere on this blade. I guess you could just disassemble a knife, take the blade out, hit all these edges all through here and inside to this cutout, because it would be much more livable if it was like that. I don't mind this. Oh, kind of a little striking area as well, I guess, you know, but also, you know, for a lanyard or slide onto your keys, just about, right? So, yeah, I mean, Steel Will's been coming out with some knives that I thought were interesting. The Shaula is my favorite. I mean, it's got bearings, it's smooth, it drop, it right size and all that. This, for a little G10, you know, popper, okay. I mean, I can see it, but it's getting all the money, especially I wish they would have, like I said before, finished all this out. So the detent's very snappy. I would call this right up there, close to a 6 on my detent. I mean, I cannot shake this out to save my soul. It's all I can do to finger flick it out. And so it's pretty tight. It's pretty tight. But, you know, the design is really attractive. The fact that I could take the pocket clip off and just dump it in my pocket and it's nothing. But it's, you know, 2.6, 2.7 ounces. So, I mean, at that, I mean, I've got my Wii Miscreant. It's titanium. It's 9 inches long and it weighs the same. So this is not ultra light. This is not bug out light. Okay, and the bug out's a bigger knife, but same weight and probably more slender. Really, I'd have to think of the stats on that bug out, but I think it was more slender than this, maybe like a 0.38 or something, where this is a 0.50. So this is actually a little fatter than the Paramilitary 2. I think it was just pretty much the edginess that kind of caught me off guard. And the fact that this thing wasn't a real smooth deployer because it's so stiff, it pops. Now that's not bad for those of you who really like that. The thing is, you got this big old cutout, so it makes it, almost got it all. Okay. And maybe with time that'll get better, so I might be prejudging a bit. So let's throw this baby apart. It comes in a box like this, by the way. And so there's your, model number, all that kind of stuff. Spacers, aluminum red. In here, part of the Urban series. They don't tell you anything about this specific knife. They just say it's part of the Urban series. And then a little bubble pouch that it goes in here, folds up with the paper, goes in a box, and the box slides in a box. And that's it. Box in a box. Just like that. So I like the packaging. It's pretty solid here. Well, let's have a go of it. Let's come from the front because that's our only choice here. I think I popped this thing apart before just to check to see if it had bearings because it was really stiff. So there goes that one. So this shouldn't be any unexpected problems with this knife since I almost guarantee I had this apart. I'm not sure if sometimes I'll take it apart, a knife apart, and then post the disassembled pictures on my Instagram along with the regular, still pics. Here we go. Here's the screws in there. They look the same size. And, here you go. To where your liner nests inside here. And there you go. This was interesting, I thought. See how your stop is? It's your liner. D-shaped pivot, thank you very much, because there's no stabilizing that side. So yes, okay, that's a win. Okay? So this is good, and this should come off, all things being equal. Let's just see if we can give it a little help. And what are we doing? Okay. There we go. Lift it off, and maybe I did put some lube in it when I put it back together. You know what? I'm not going to put any lube when I put it back together. I think I overdid it last time. So there's the inside here, and of course this is steel, so you don't need a washer. And we've got ceramic bearings. Okay, that's nice. And let's take the blade off without throwing the bearings or, there you go, anything else across the room. There you go. Come out. There we go. And here's, the pivot tube from the back side, and it's D-shaped. Kind of plain. That's okay. Ceramic bearings. And there you go. There's your back spacer, which comes off if you want. And there's your liner here. It's held in place partially by these pocket clip. So let me see. Yeah. I don't know how much these secure that liner there. And so if you do take the pocket clip off, you may affect the stability here, and the detent may change radically on you. So be aware of that possibility, okay, because it is assisting in holding that liner in place. Right you there. And there's your little D-shaped area here where that goes through. It's not D-shaped here. Internal, of course. Stop, and then, like I said, runs this track, and so this liner acts as a stop, which I can't remember another knife that was like that right off the top of my head. But I doubt if it's an industry first. Here you go. Going to throw it back together real easy breezy. And throw our bearings down here. Right here, back up here. Because, see, I think this liner's like that on the other side, too. I think it just kind of nests between those standoffs. So I don't know that it holds that liner in. I think the only thing holding that is those pocket clip screws. I could be wrong. But it just, by the way that fits, I imagine the others are like that. And here we go, and we put it back together. So it's easy to take apart, easy to put together. Pretty simple, nothing difficult here. No defective hardware, strip screws, anything. So where are we right here? We're centered right up. Snappy. Maybe you could back that off just a tad, huh? I'm just going to snug it up, but not overdo it. And it's still centered. Okay. All right. Going to let you go. Steel wheel Kobold. Small. Relatively lightweight. Interesting design. Comes in different colors. Check it out. You know what we do. We love them knives, so you guys stay sharp.